Hi. Okay, so I'm not sure if this really qualifies as a hack, but I just wanted to talk about something here. So I recently received my Kvetun sabre, and this is one that Matt Easton talked about, saying that how he had difficulty getting in the grip because of its formation. And this one has been modified from the factory to open it up and make it more easy to grip with a glove on. Now, I don't have my red dragons on. I managed to leave them at the studio, but you can see it's still pretty tight. And with these lacrosse gloves, it really isn't an issue. But with the red dragons, it was still restrictive up here on the bell, where it was coming in on this portion. And so I was having difficulty in there, and so I decided to mod it a little bit. Well, not to say I modded this, I decided to go for a complete replacement. So I had fortunately lucked into an antique honeysuckle guard, and with absolutely no forming on my part at all, it exactly fit. So it was sort of fated to be. So I decided to go ahead and see what would happen if I swapped it out. Okay, and you can see now the differences between the two. I mean, these guys are right there in terms of size. I don't know if you can see that very well, but they are just right there. In fact, if I just take the old grip, whatever the appropriate terminology is there, and the existing, actually, the only thing I had to do here, so that with this hilt, and I have no idea what exactly era it's coming from, is I had to open up the bottom down here. The hole on the previous example is much too small. Presumably, the screw didn't fit through the hilt the way this one does. But that was a simple little drill out, so that was easy. So we go back into this. And so I'm just going to do this really quick here. And it doesn't quite fit. Obviously, you can see where the gap in spacing here is. Even if I crank that down, there's going to be a little bit of a discrepancy here. But right off the back right there, with this kind of hilt, is less protective, certainly. Right? I mean, the bell guard doesn't do what that guard does. It is more open. At the same time, it is making it much more accessible to get in and hold the weapon. And even depending on what grip I want to go to with this, certainly this one becomes very easy to do with this grip. I'm going to do hammer or handshake or thumb on top. All of them are, whoops, all of those are pretty easy to do there. So as you can see there. And so I really liked that. That was fantastic. But I didn't like how the hilt fit anymore. So I went back in and started experimenting for the first time, trying to build my own hilts. And I went through a couple iterations on this. First one was way too skinny. And honestly, I'm still not happy with it. And I'm still learning how to make saber hilts here. And I came up with something that wound up like this. You can see a couple of my early versions as I was running through. And I'll probably do one more that's even fatter than that at the end as I figure out what's comfortable for me. Pop it out of there. Here. And obviously I'm not doing a super hard tighten there by any means, but Okay, and so that's what the new hilt looks like. Now, I really like this. I'm biased, I built it, but just sort of how the feel of this one's coming across without a glove on. You can sort of see what the options are. And it really opens it up down toward the hilt here in comparison to the way this previous hilt was. Right, certainly, and, you know, whoops, yep, there we go. You can see the difference in coverage. Certainly you have way less coverage over on this side, less coverage over on this side as well. The flip side is that really opens up, makes gloves easy, you know, when you're, if that is an issue for you. Again, I don't have the Red Dragons with me, but this is a pretty fair example, except that they're a lot softer. But you can see how this now starts fitting into that. I've been looking around trying to find another honeysuckle guard because I like this hack so much, and I haven't been able to find one. I kind of looked into the one that I did, but it would be neat if makers, Kvetun, anybody else, would actually start making these, particularly as that would be an easy opt-out compared to that. Anyway, certainly free up and make things easier. The only maker that I know that makes these kind of guards is Castile, but anyway, it's an easy replacement and an easy option out there. Just a suggestion for anybody out there, and for the makers out there, this Kvetun in particular, this would be a really cool option out there for this to be made. So anyway, hope that was helpful.